We rolling, bro.
Rolling. We live.
Mehdi,
We live.
how you doing, man?
I'm alright, bro. How are you?
Good, thanks. It's I have to mention it's 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, how do you like Miami?
Best city ever. What's there not to like? I mean,
Everything, man.
everything. Everywhere you
Everything
look,
here.
there's something to like,
Yeah,
to love.
yeah. I have lived in California, in Midwest. I have been briefly in Texas, in Georgia, in Virginia, in fucking Utah. I fucking hate that place. And and nothing is like South Florida. I like Florida in general, but South Florida is something else, man. Yeah. Do you see yourself one day living here?
For sure. For sure.
I know you're in crypto stuff and investment. Crypto is big in South Florida. It's in Miami. They have crypto convention here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they're the president now is all for it, so
Yeah. So
best time ever.
yeah,
What a time to be alive.
yeah, I know. It's amazing. To be honest, I like Trump. His second term. I can't see he weed out wrong people around himself. I mean, he's doing great things. He needs chance, and he got his shit into order. I completely 100% support him for implementing these immigration laws. I think as an immigrant myself, people should follow the rules. Go fucking apply for a visa, come to this country. Be loyal to the country that is helping you, giving you green card, giving you citizenship. Be loyal to the country. You don't want it to, bro. Nobody forced you to come here, right? But you gotta follow the. I hate it when they say migrants. No, these are not migrants. They're illegal immigrants. They're not migrant. I'm a migrant.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it's fun. I love to be at this time here. You know, I do believe, as PBD always said, future is bright. I do believe future is bright, and you know, I'm very happy. I'm very happy you are here, man. Your first experience here, being in the United States. You grew up in Greece, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Grew up in Greece. You know, traveling around the world, but all the way across the ocean here in Miami. Many Greek people actually reside here in South Florida. It's very international. From different nationalities, you see people here. South America, Europe, Central Europe, East, West of Europe. All the way to Far East Asia. So it's very fun. It's very fun. Now, what do you do in Greece?
You know what I do in Greece?
Tell our audience,
Yeah,
what do you
yeah.
do in Greece?
Um,
I have to mention, Mehdi is a very humble guy. He's I'm gonna do a brief introduction. He's investor and also CEO of TheList app, which is a reservation app. Very active.
CO.
COO,
Yeah,
yeah, COO.
yeah. We gotta give respect to the CEO.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
The CEO
He's
is
a nice guy.
yeah.
I think you've heard of him.
CEO Ali Kabusi is
Yeah.
he's an amazing man.
Yeah,
I sometimes get to these lounges and nightclubs in Miami because of Ali Kabusi. So I don't know which for free.
yeah. It's important.
But yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah.
Like,
So I want to know your perspective as an investor to a startup company.
Mhm.
What was your first initial thought? You're a young man and you are going to invest, and
Yeah.
you have huge burdens on your shoulders. Obviously, it's your assets, it's your money. Uh, so tell me about what went through your mind. Because I am not an investor.
I don't know how much of the story. The story was like it's a big story. It's
No, I want to know your perspective inside your mind.
yeah.
You know, when you sign the paper, you say, you know what, I wanna dedicate my investment, my money to this company, right?
It actually started with a handshake.
With a handshake.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Because we're friends, you know.
Well, let me tell you, man. It's like when I see you, when I see you and the CEO Ali hanging out and talking to each other, it reminds me the loyalty that certain individuals they have to each other. Like I see some people around President Trump are so loyal to him. I saw some of the staff, the original engineers that helped Steve Jobs to create Apple. Like I think it was 2 or 3 engineers around him. I saw that in the movie. They were so loyal to him, and handshake, especially in Persian culture, is well respected than signing a document. I don't know what I'm not talking about the current Persian culture, but the era that I grew up, and handshake it means like fuck it, man, I'm in it, right? So I want to know with that handshake, like forget about knowing the CEO, hanging out with him, what was your thoughts? I give you an example. When I wanted to start this podcast, as a combat veteran myself, I had to find different ways to meditate, to cope this situation that I'm going through, right? Walking at the beach, running, traveling. I love traveling. Most countries I go visit alone. But I had this feeling that, what? I have nothing to lose. I talk to people. I have great friends. What's the worst can happen? Somebody call me an asshole in the comment box. I have nothing to lose. I am who I am, and I'm expressing myself, right? And I went with it. So that's my thought about something, to put myself in public. My profile goes public.
Yeah, this is new for me too.
It's, to be public, be in the face of public. That someone can from across the world watching this right now. I was always a private person, so I had my concerns, but I had a moment I was like, fuck it, man. I got nothing to lose. I have been worse situations in my life, right? So what was your feeling?
That it's not gonna happen. Like it was like a slow reality to set in, like sorry.
Yeah. You can adjust that as well, like exactly.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
You set your mind on something, and by the time it happens, I don't know, at least the way it goes in my head, until something becomes real, it's gonna take some time in my head, if it's a decision I've made, to follow a certain path, because I am a human after all, and I do, let's say, set my sight on many things. Now I'm not gonna necessarily do everything that I comes into my head, but this was one of those things that actually stuck around, and that was probably the first realist commitment I've made to something. Right. I'm not talking about relationships here. I'm talking about in life.
What a big move, man.
It was. I had a story. The way I met. Obviously, I have a bias towards this whole thing. But the way I met your brother, who's a CEO. It was like an instant connection, right? Because we both are from the same background, and very specific backgrounds, right? Our mother, same place, father, same place. So that was like instant connection. You find someone that's from the same town, across the world, and that's a town you know very well. Not many people, get out of it. So because of that, the whole situation became a bit more I don't know, more meant to be in a way, right? The way I always saw it was what are the chances of all of this, right? And the funny thing is, the whole idea of the list, before I heard it from your brother, I remember one time I was sitting with my friend Omar, and we were chilling in this place called Miller in Glifada area, right? And we're having, I think, breakfast, if I'm not mistaken. And then I mentioned to him, like, why is there no like application or service that will make your life easier when it comes to dealing with clubs? Because back then I was going out, and I hated contacting, like, promoters and whatnot. I always felt like I'm being ripped off. It's the same feeling you get when you walk into a second-hand car dealership.
Seriously, bro.
you know. Yeah. So just the way everything went forward, for me, I really believe that this is meant to be. What are the chances of everything? And eventually, like, through initial discussions with your brother, like, he would just pitch me randomly. We're chilling, like, just having a boys' night, playing FIFA, whatever. And then suddenly he would start talking about it, or like I would ask, and we'd begin talking about it, and it would go on for a while. And every time he did it, I was more inclined to get in on this project with him. And that was like super early on stage, right? This was when the idea was just being transformed into an app.
Correct.
Right. And by the time, this was beginning of COVID, right? My father had come into town, and I discussed with him that I see potential.
Yeah.
I told him that I see potential in this whole idea, and he asked me to set a meeting. So we did, and through initial discussions, everything looked good, but there was a minor detail that they could not agree on, which was like, for my father, this is not his style of, like, this is a very American style of business, right? Correct. Where you invest on an idea, on a stranger, right? There's a lot of risk aptitude there, risk money, and they will invest millions, right, on a seed stage, like angel investors give you stupid amounts of money, like, on an idea. So, but this is not the way my dad worked, obviously, and different parts of the world and all. He could not see, like, himself investing on someone that has no, like, work background prior, so he wanted,
which is absolutely,
it's normal,
a great point.
It's what are the chances, that this guy is gonna actually do something.
Exactly. As a person that he's much older and he has international experience, been running a business for many years, it's valid concern. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, he what he wanted was like, let's say, some sort of veto power, where at the end, if Ali one day, that was his example, it's like, I don't know, maybe you fall in love one day and you decide you don't want to work anymore. I don't want to just blow up my money. It's like, I want to be able to carry this thing forward, without you, if I have to. And Ali at the time, he he must have felt like he must have felt like Steve Jobs, someone's trying to take his company from out under him. Anyway, he got concerned, so he was like, okay, this is not what I was looking for, and he backed out of the deal. And at the time, he had, like, he had committed a lot of his money to TheList, and it was getting harder and harder as his expenses were building up quite fast. Right. And his lack of experience also led to him, at the time at least, to burn through his budget very quickly. But then he found his, let's say, balance, But anyway, so that didn't work out. We fast forward a couple of years until 2023, where I really wanted to do this, right? I could see TheList growing, At that point, we had gone from the idea stage to the application stage, and then, there were clients. We had business clients. We had customers being registered on the app, bookings being made. So at this point, I was like, okay, I can see this is working out, right? And I had become a customer of this service myself, right? I was using the app to book my night out and also to support my friend, but also I found it quite useful, like it does make things simpler. No more waiting for that phone to be picked up and then explaining things carefully, like, make sure everything is correct. No, just, get it sorted out in a few steps and you're done. So I really wanted to invest, but at the time I did not have the access to the capital myself, right? And I was always trying to get my father to come on board to this, but he was no longer interested. He's like, I can't go. Like, from what I understood, he was like, I don't want to go back to, table of negotiations where I was told no. He's like, that's it, okay,
He
like
has
we
his
maybe, yeah,
certain
yeah,
approach type of
yeah, yeah,
business.
of course.
Trump
This is
style.
what I, yeah, this is what I,
That's like
this,
Trump.
this is what I picked up. It's like, and to be honest, he was his first thing that the very first sentence that he told Ali right after the negotiations opened about the list, because Ali made his pitch and then my dad started talking, right? And his first sentence to him was like, as a businessman who went through this himself, through being broke, having no money, looking for partners, it's like, I thank my stars, my lucky stars that I did not find a partner, right? And I somehow made it out myself. He's like, as this kind of businessman, my most important advice to you is to not do this right now. Go down the line, see what you can make of it without, finding any partners, without raising any money, and see where you can get it to be. But it's like, if you really want to do this, then we can actually open the negotiations. But my first advice to you is not to do this. So anyway, time passed. I really wanted to do this, and I had a bit of money in my hand, not as much as I committed to the company at the time, which was raises other things, and it was a funny time. But one day I told my brother, I'm like, I'm gonna do this, this just makes sense, and it's not happening only because we had one negotiations about it, it didn't work out, and now we just let it go. So I could, at the time I didn't believe I was actually gonna do it, that's why I told you I was shocked that it actually happened, And when I made the first installment of my investment to the company, I couldn't believe it. I was like, to me, actually nothing had changed. I went over to the office, I shook hands with Ali, and I sent him the money. And yeah, like, that's it. I went home, and then it was about like a month later when I actually started hitting me. Shit, I'm a part of this team now.
Yeah.
This is my project, and I care about this, and I want this to like.
I'm very amazed by the achievement that you guys have made. It was a month ago when Ali was here, and we had dinner with in Santorini by Georgios in South Beach. Wonderful person. He's such a great guy. I call him the godfather of hospitality in Miami. Hotels, restaurants, and he's so generous. Such a humble person. He said something nice to Ali. He said, "I respect you for being a young man and pulling out this business from scratch in Greece." He said, "I am Greek, and I'm telling you how hard it is to run a business in Greece." And he also mentioned that Ali told me that before, establishing a company, registering in Greece, basically a Greek entity, it's pain in the ass, man. He says it's easier to make it in other countries,
Yeah, for sure.
So, but he is one thing that I can tell about him. He loves Greece so much, and the country, the respect that he has for Greece, Greek people, and Greek culture. He's been living there since he was I don't know, 19, some shit like that, or younger. That he says, what? I'm here. I'm gonna pay my loyalty. I'm gonna start my company here. I don't care. It takes months to get the license and registration. I want to do it right here. So I really respect that. And starting the negotiation with the venue owners, club owners, restaurant owners, bringing the list here. And both of you, I have witnessed, you guys jumping with the team. It's an example. You guys should be so proud of yourself that at this stage of your life, at this age, you are approaching this. It's gonna set you up for success, personal and public life. That just like something that your dad did from scratch himself, and you as his son, you're looking up to him. Like, "Look, my dad busted his ass to get where he's at,
Yeah, he
right?"
did.
And this is what your kid's gonna look up to you, and the respect that you gain in the public, among friends, among people, because sometimes you meet people, shit, that drive a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, wearing a $200,000 watch, but the guy never does shit in his life. Of course, someone like me, I don't have respect for that person, because that's not. It feels better. It's much nicer when you spend your own money. You know what I'm saying? And when you work for that
Of
shit, and
course.
that's gonna be a reward that you and all the contributors to your company have. Because it's like long time ago, I was watching a documentary about when in Dubai they built a man-made island, the map of the world,
Yeah.
and they were interviewing the project manager, and he was a local Emirati guy, and he said something very nice, and it stuck with me. I was watching, I remember back then in VH1, which was a popular channel for music and stuff, documentaries like that. Uh, he said, anytime these tents they were stacking on top of each other, it looked like a mother giving birth, and I never forget it. And this is gonna be your situation with your partner situation. I can see the process of the company made. I can see the process of the TheList app made, from just few restaurants in Greece to taking over of Greece to be so popular in the UAE and now the United States. Um, you know, future is bright for you guys, and I'm very proud of you guys.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
that's awesome, man. That's amazing. Uh, yeah, man. So let's see. Let's see. So, what part of Miami you have visited so far? Let's see. You have been in South Beach,
South Beach,
Brickell,
Brickell,
Ball Harbor,
Ball Harbor,
and you have been in Fort Lauderdale, right? Oh, how
Fort
was your
Lauderdale.
experience in shooting range?
Amazing,
You
man.
like it? That first time shooting range?
Look, it's just one of those like ridiculous things, You go, you walk into the store and you see all these crazy ass.
Did you guys have a live instructor behind you guiding you guys, or you just guys choose the
No,
time?
it wasn't my first time, at least in Florida,
Yeah.
right? The first gun range in US that I went to was North Carolina,
Oh, okay.
right? So I learned some things there,
Okay.
and there's this guy, like funny guy, whose name was Ron.
In
The
here?
old guy, yeah, he was missing a lot of teeth, but like he did help me through it. Like he told me how to handle the gun and whatever.
Yeah. He's probably a Vietnam veteran.
Who knows, man? Like honestly, no, it was just fun as hell.
No, it's very fun. I mean, the ability to uh, not to be able to carry a firearm responsibly. And some people, they have a collection. I had a neighbor, dude. This guy had a collection of beautiful firearms. Um, it's fun, especially once a month, couple of times. You know, go to the shooting range with professionals. It's if nobody has done it, I highly recommend you to do it. Don't just say, "Hey, I'm against firearms." Listen, as a combat veteran, I am against firearms. Automatic firearms was made to kill enemies, and I'm 100% for Second Amendment. I truly believe there was a reason our founding father drafted the Second Amendment in the United States Constitution, and every legal citizen, every citizen and legal resident are should go through the background checks to carry firearm. I do really believe in background check for firearm, and also.
But they don't really do much, do
They
they?
don't- No, well, it has to be some alteration, in my opinion. Do the psychological test.
Man, it's like so easy. Like I've heard of people just.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
describe it as like going and picking a mop from a
Exactly.
supermarket.
Listen, it's a culture of this country.
Yeah, no,
And
I
you
get it.
cannot deny that. And that culture is bound with it. You cannot erase it. Just like certain nations,
Oh, sorry.
they have certain cultures. You know what I'm saying? Uh, So yeah, I I respect that, but there are some bad apples all the time. But it's fun. It's fun. I never done archery. Um,
That's fun too.
I never done archery.
But it's a whole other thing when
I
you have
know.
like a massive barrel,
Massive,
like, and
yeah,
just shooting and making
yeah.
a lot of noise.
It's funny. I never held a gun, firearm, until I moved to the United States. And when I joined the United States Army.
I mean, I did
So
it, but
they
like
get,
not these kind of guns.
no, no,
These kind of guns are crazy. I've had like a hunting rifle, like,
I never ever,
yeah,
maybe a BB gun. Never ever.
yeah, things like that.
And when I moved to the United States, I joined the United States Army. They gave us M16. And we had to qualify in the boot camp 3 times. My first time, this asshole drill sergeant, he changed the iron sights of my weapon, and my shots was going all around the targets. He wasn't even hitting the target. Second time, this female drill sergeant, I know her name, but I'm not going to mention. She came to me. She's like, Reza, you're Persian, and you're in the United States Army. You should get 40 targets out of 40 targets. No excuse. And I was like, drill sergeant, I don't know. When I'm shooting, all my bullets are going. I have no idea what's going on. She practiced. I zero my map. Zero my map. That means you sight your iron sight with your eye, and basically, based on your breathing and movement, then you know how you mass center that target. She did it, man. I got my qualified. Got my expert badge. That was my first time, and I learned how to do that. And I had firearms in past, going to my with my friends to the shooting range. It's a fun things to do. You should 100% to be responsible owner. If there is a chance that you think you're not able to control your anger, control your emotion, I don't think you should have that one in the house or own it.
The thing is, when you live in a place where most people don't have, there's not, I don't personally see a need for it. But when you're in a country where, okay, like, for one way or another, the constitution allows it for personal protection, when people have it, like, you're bound to get some crazy people having it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, whether you're for it or not, you kind of have to have one. It's necessary. Like, it is. Like, it is important to be able to protect yourself when you have some people, as you said, the crazy ones.
Yep.
If they have access to it, then, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of necessary. But anyway, it was fun as hell.
Fun,
like,
huh?
watching the bullet fly out the gun, just fall on my shoulder.
Well, next time when you have longer plan to stay in United States, it's fun. United States has lots of beautiful outdoor activities. If you visit here in winter, like this season, if you go to Aspen has some of the best ski resorts in the world, including like some part of Utah. They're they're very good, kind of equivalent to Switzerland of here in the United States. So it's a beautiful country. There's so many to see, so many. Like alone in Washington D.C., so many beautiful, fantastic museums. Largest library in the world, Library of United States Congress. It's a very beautiful city. Go Southern California, some other beauty. South Florida here, other type of beauty. You go to New York, different type of beauty. And then you wanna go outdoor activities. You got Montana and Wyoming and all this shit. So. So yeah,
Wyoming. When I got my visa, everyone was like, "Go to Wyoming," and I'm like, "Bro, like, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, man.
My little brother always is like, "Man, you gotta go to Wyoming."
I have no idea. No, man, you don't want to go there. Trust me.
Man, even I'm not from here, but I know you don't need to go to Wyoming.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I just picked out probably like the top 4 most touristic cities, and like just the popular cities, all the cities that I watch like all the movies that I watch were made there, LA, Miami, like New York.
If you're a tourist,
Vegas.
If you're a tourist, you're coming for first time, and you got the budget and the time, certainly you have to hit all these spots.
Mhm.
It's listen, 1 month is not enough for vacation in the United States. It's such a
No, no,
big country. It's
it's a
so much.
continent. It's not a
It's a
country.
exactly. There's
It's not
so
a.
much to see.
You have to fly 5 or 6 hours
Dude,
west coast,
it's
east
like
coast. Like,
almost 5 hours from Miami to Los Angeles.
yeah,
I for don't forget about Las Vegas. Las Vegas is such a nice place. If you do Las Vegas right, you know, dude, it's such an amazing place for vacation.
all I know is the Hangover movie.
The Hangover, right? Yeah. So
But unfortunately, my boys are not here to replicate. You
yeah,
gotta.
very soon, you guys.
Your brother when he comes through.
Yeah, because very soon, you guys.
No, no, we're strictly about business.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna lock it down, and we're gonna make it work.
Yeah. Now, how was it growing up in Greece? Going to
Pretty
school,
good.
going to
Pretty
school.
pretty fun.
Do they do the same shit as like Iranians? Like the
Look, yeah,
attitude?
look. The first thing I realized, within about a month of moving to Athens, I was quite young. I was like 10 or 11 years old. Um, they were very similar in terms of behavior and like even food, traditions, like very very closely knitted. Like they're just Greek, they're Greek Orthodox, and we have like a Muslim because we had to deal with Arabs around us as
Yeah.
well through the history. So we have that Muslim influence and they have the Christian influence. But like in terms of people, like they were always involved with each other through battles, marriage, whatever
Correct.
you name it. So very similar people, and it was quite fun. Like to be honest, it's a very nice and safe and just generally like easygoing life for a kid. It's a pretty good place, I would say, to raise a kid. You would have a nice childhood there.
So you went off the bat to Greek language school or like?
No, no, no. I was in an international school. Yeah.
Okay.
So we were taught Greek, but like I don't know, like few periods per
It's a
week.
hard language,
Like,
man.
it's a difficult
It's a-
language. Yeah, it's not
And
the easiest.
I'm blown away the way that Ali all of a sudden, because
Yeah,
a summer before, I would say 5-6 years ago or more than that, I was in Greece. Ali couldn't speak Greek at all. A year after I went back, dude, the guy was like, even with the Greek accent, talking,
yeah.
and he didn't tell me. He said, "Hey, Google your last name. It's the name of the oldest village in island of Crete, Kavousi village."
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he told me about this.
Yeah, he told me that,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's crazy. So I did a DNA test of myself. I don't have any Greek in me. I'm 73% Persian. I think it has 5% Italian, 1% Korean.
Korean.
Yeah.
No
And
way.
the remaining, it's like the area in the genetic map from Armenia to Turkey. It makes sense because it was Empire of Persia, right? So, and I'm from southern part of Iran. So it was circled around that area, throughout all those battles happen and shit like that. But I didn't have, but I was like very proud, 73% Persian,
It's pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. I like DNA test. You
Yeah.
should do it someday.
I was thinking about
Fucking turn
You know,
on. You're half from
my
Mongolia.
my girlfriend who's Greek.
Yeah.
Like her sister did
Yeah.
this test, right? And
Yeah.
okay, like this is her sibling, so hers probably gonna come out very close as well. But she was 23% Iranian, or 21%, one or the other. Sorry.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
Which was like very surprising because that's like a very direct connection,
Yeah. Shit.
But yeah,
Wow.
they traced their family back to like I think some areas that are bordering with Turkey.
Yeah.
If I'm not
You know
mistaken.
what's so funny? My kids, they did a DNA test as well. Obviously, they're half Persian, about 40% Irish because their mom is Irish. But one of my son had few percent French. Another one had few percent Albanian.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, but yeah.
You should really look into the Albanian one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you gotta.
That's why he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Between my both kids,
You should really explore that area.
The one that has like 3% Albanian in him.
Yeah.
Dude, he's my boy.
Which one is that? Is that the younger?
The young one, yeah.
Young, right.
He's cool, you know. He can't see he has the crazy Albanian gene. But my oldest one that has French in him, bro, he's like high class, bonjour, you know. He's all calm and quiet, you know. He's sitting by so, dude, this DNA and genetic is legit shit. Imagine if you're like if you do a DNA test and turned out you have some shit from, you know, when Mongols attack Iran, you know, and rape some of our women and carry that shit, and you have some Mongolian DNA. Like, that's why you're savage, like, you know. Yeah. You know, like some when Arab attacks happen, you know, some shit happen. you had some. That's very interesting. I like DNA tests. I like, you know, in general, finding out about cultures and biology and how different cultures evolve, you know. I love that. I was very big in history in middle, and remember in Iran when we had in middle school, we had to read history book that thick.
Yeah, but like
Iran before Islam and Iran after Islam, you know. Yeah. So we had to learn all the shit, all the names, you know, and
I remember,
the battles and shit like that, you know. And I'm glad that, you know, and I was so big on that about history, you know. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, like really, like in Iranian classrooms, you don't get a lot of like of the pre-revolution history. Like you're getting it very like brief and quick.
Yeah, because they know if they explain it, it's gonna be the fucking takeover.
It was it's a shame because you know what, like by the time I left Greece, and like this is like quite a bit of a, let's say, pro of living elsewhere, you know, especially like two places that are very politically different environments. You get to see like their version of the truth, and then you get to see other people's version of the truth, you know, and then you kind of find the real truth in between.
Yeah.
And I was missing a lot of like cultural information, you know, like there was a lot of huge cultural gaps in my knowledge. I had I had zero clue about black culture, right?
Yeah.
Like slavery, African American history, like zero. Yeah. Like none.
Yeah.
You know, because to be honest, like even in Iran, like I'd say like, you know, someone like a colored skin they would look at them, but not out of racism, but like, you know, just out of like that they're different, you know. Iranians like to point out the guys whether they're European or like whatever. It's the same reaction.
Iranians are not racist towards different culture. We are racist among each other. Yeah. You're fucking from I'm from Tehran, bitch. Yeah.
They want to fight themselves.
That's dangerous. That's so fucking dangerous when you have it in the country, man. That's very dangerous, man.
That's the reason why we can't ever agree to anything. Like the whole country is like every day something new.
You have it almost everywhere. Here in the United States, you know, people making fun of certain cultures and shit like that.
Yeah.
So, listen, I want to talk because I know you have great knowledge of cryptocurrency, and you're very big on that. And I want to talk about cryptocurrency with you, but shall we do that another time?
It's up to you.
Yeah, we do that another time. Yeah. I kind of want to, you know, get to know you better, our audience to understand that, you know, at your young age, you are doing a huge move in a tech company, you know, TheList, and the broad ideas you have for expanding to the United States, you know, with your partner Ali, and you know, growing up in a Western culture, a very unique culture of Greece, you know, which is very close to Persian culture, very family based, you know, lovely, respectful people. So I want to kind of get to know you on that, and our audience understand your background, where you're coming from, and it's fucking, dude. What time is it? It's 2:44, man.
2:44.
2:44. And I gotta go.
I gotta wake up early. You gotta wake up early.
Shit. So we dive into cryptocurrency next podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Cool.
sounds good. Yeah, let's do that.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Bye, everyone.
Bye.